Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The pure mathematics of points and lines and curves and surfaces. The branches of mathematics that study and develop the principles of mathematics for their own sake rather than for their immediate usefulness. Mathematics, the geometry of figures on the surface of a sphere. The geometry of two-dimensional figures. The geometry of affine transformations. Mathematics, geometry based on Euclid's axioms. Mathematics, geometry based on Euclid's axioms. The geometry of three-dimensional space. Mathematics, the geometry of fractals. Benoit Mandelbrot pioneered fractal geometry. The geometry of properties that remain invariant under projection. The use of algebra to study geometric properties operates on symbols defined in a coordinate system. The use of algebra to study geometric properties operates on symbols defined in a coordinate system. The use of algebra to study geometric properties operates on symbols defined in a coordinate system. Mathematics, geometry based on axioms different from Euclid's. The geometry of properties that remain invariant under projection. Mathematics, geometry based on Euclid's axioms. A science, or group of related sciences, dealing with the logic of quantity and shape and arrangement. A science, or group of related sciences, dealing with the logic of quantity and shape and arrangement. A science, or group of related sciences, dealing with the logic of quantity and shape and arrangement. Geometry, a curve generated by the intersection of a plane and a circular cone. A circularity that has a different center or deviates from a circular path. Geometry, a ratio describing the shape of a conic section. The ratio of the distance between the foci to the length of the major axis. A circle is an ellipse with zero eccentricity. Strange and unconventional behavior. Geometry, the angle formed by the x-axis and a given line, measured counterclockwise from the positive half of the x-axis. Geometry, a curve generated by the intersection of a plane and a circular cone. Relating to or resembling a cone. Conical mountains. Any of several plane algebraic curves in the shape of a figure 8. A cosmetic in a long thin stick, designed to be applied to a particular part of the face. An eyebrow pencil. A figure formed by a set of straight lines or light rays meeting at a point. A thin cylindrical pointed writing implement. A rod of marking substance encased in wood. Graphite, or a similar substance, used in such a way as to be a medium of communication. The words were scribbled in pencil. Write, draw, or trace with a pencil. He penciled a figure. Geometry, the area created by a plane cutting through a solid. A self-contained part of a larger composition, written or musical. He always turns first to the business section. A specialized division of a large organization. She got a job in the historical section of the Treasury. The cutting of or into body tissues or organs, especially by a surgeon as part of an operation. Geometry, the area created by a plane cutting through a solid. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The finance section of the company. A small class of students who are part of a larger course but are taught separately. A graduate student taught sections for the professor's lecture course. Divide into segments. One of several parts or pieces that fit with others to constitute a whole object. A section of a fishing rod. A distinct region or subdivision of a territorial or political area or community or group of people. No section of the nation is more ardent than the South. A division of an orchestra containing all instruments of the same class. A land unit equal to 1 square mile. A segment of a citrus fruit. He ate a section of the orange. A small army unit usually having a special function. A small team of policemen working as part of a police platoon. A very thin slice, of tissue or mineral or other substance, for examination under a microscope. Sections from the left ventricle showed diseased tissue. Characterized by honesty and fairness. A square deal. A formal and conservative person with old-fashioned views. Firmly and solidly. Hit the ball squarely. The product of two equal terms. Gravity is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. Providing abundant nourishment. 4 square meals a day. Rigidly conventional or old-fashioned. Without evasion or compromise. A square contradiction. Geometry. A plane rectangle with 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. A 4-sided regular polygon. You can compute the area of a square if you know the length of its sides. Make square. Square the wood with a file. In a straight direct way. Looked him squarely in the eye. Someone who doesn't understand what is going on. Turn the paddle, in canoeing. Turn the oar, while rowing. In a square shape. A squarely cut piece of paper. An open area at the meeting of 2 or more streets. A hand tool consisting of 2 straight arms at right angles, used to construct or test right angles. The carpenter who built this room must have lost his square. Any artifact having a shape similar to a plane geometric figure with 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. A checkerboard has 64 squares. Be compatible with. One idea squares with another. Cause to match, as of ideas or acts. Having 4 equal sides and 4 right angles or forming a right angle. A square peg in a round hole. Leaving no balance. My account with you is now all square. Pay someone and settle a debt. I squared with him. Position so as to be square. He squared his shoulders. Raise to the second power. Something approximating the shape of a square. Geology. The principle that in a series of stratified sedimentary rocks the lowest stratum is the oldest. Geology. The deposition of one geological stratum on another. Geometry. The placement of one object ideally in the position of another one in order to show that the two coincide. The placement of one thing on top of another. Restrict or confine within limits. Our actions are circumscribed by our biology, personality, and by the social and cultural context into which we are born. Draw a line around. To draw a geometric figure around another figure so that the two are in contact but do not intersect. Make by combining materials and parts. Some eccentric constructed an electric brazier warmer. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. Reassemble mentally. Reconstruct the events of 20 years ago. Put together out of artificial or natural components or parts. Create by linking linguistic units. Construct a sentence. Create by organizing and linking ideas, arguments, or concepts. Construct a proof. Draw with suitable instruments and under specified conditions. Construct an equilateral triangle.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.